Hey, Kelsey, can you tell us what you think about Trump's job performance so far in his first term or second term?
I think he's great.
What issues are you most concerned about that he's doing well on?
Well, I think the economy's actually going really well.
I think so too.
And we'll see what happens in the next year or so. I mean, what I always love is when the Democrats start talking about affordability, you always know they're going to charge you twice as much and spend 3 times as much. So,
You think any of the house in Malibu will ever get built again? No. Not this life.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, so we got to talk about the Trump economy and what's actually been happening because, of course, Democrats will always push out doom and gloom. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my Trump's economy is bad, it's terrible. All of the, the whole doom and gloom stuff. But the reality is he inherited a terrible situation. I want to play this clip from CNBC because it perfectly lays out exactly what I'm saying here. Check this out.
But the affordability issue is from the 22% increase in prices and inflation under Biden. There's just full stop right there. That's the affordability issue. And he ought to be able to explain that better.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That was on national television. I mean, this affordability issue, it lays squarely on the shoulders of the Democrat Party and the Biden administration, the Biden-Kamala Harris administration, because that's whom it rose under. So this isn't something to fix overnight, especially when the Biden administration printed more money. I forgot the statistic, but they were printing money like it was going out of style. So, of course, when you're just printing dollars and your policies are absolutely garbage, you're going to see massive price increases, which is going to make things more expensive and the dollar a hell of a lot less valuable, right? So that's not something easy to fix overnight, so we can't expect it to be fixed easily overnight. I suspect, and you can hold me to this, by the end of next year, around the midterms time, if we're still in the same situation and nothing has drastically improved, which I highly doubt that's going to happen because it's already improving, and we're going to get into that in just a second, then we could start having a serious discussion about maybe Trump's policies aren't genuinely working. But until then, I want to play a couple of these other clips because we've got a hell of a lot of great news, including this. Check it out.
Yeah, well, first of all, the deficit news has been really fantastic. And it's kind of funny because for the longest time, at least like the Democratic think tanks, they'd be telling you the only thing that matters is the deficit. Well, if you look at what's happened so far this year over year, by the calendar year, we're going to see a deficit reduction of about $600 billion. Multiply that by 10 and let there be a little growth. You're looking at 7 or 8 trillion in deficit reduction over the decade because of the policies we've adopted this year. About 1/3 spending cuts, 1/3 tariff revenue, and 1/3 Laffer curve-like growth from the tax cuts. And so with that big deficit reduction, then there's lots and lots of room for inflation to go down and so on. And so my view is that the deficit reduction is a key to the health of the economy, to lower rates. And if the Supreme Court were to do something about that, we've got backup plans, but it would be disruptive for a short while. Bottom line, though, is that we're highly confident that they won't do that because in the end, there are 2 questions before them. One, is it an emergency? And how is it not an emergency if fentanyl's killing hundreds of thousands of people and if the trade deficit is making towns into ghost towns? And then the second thing is, does the language that says that we have the authority to regulate trade mean that we can use tariffs? But how else are you going to regulate trade if not with tariffs? Maybe you would say, you would use quotas, but if you take quotas and auction them, then that's like a tariff. So it feels like the Supreme Court won't have anything to point to toss out the case. So we're pretty confident that it's going to go the way we want. But if it doesn't, we have backup plans.
Man, shout out to the Supreme Court because, in a way, the Supreme Court has been saving the day time after time again, right? You got these rogue judges, you got the Democrats all over the place, trying to stop the Trump agenda, left, right, and center. I've never seen so many judges across this country try to stop a president. I've never seen this. I've never seen this. This is absolute insanity. And the Supreme Court is basically the only ones standing in the way of this nonsense. So shout out to the Supreme Court, man. Shout out to the Supreme Court. Let's keep it going. All right, let's keep it going. We got some major cases coming up, so let's keep it going. Let's keep this momentum. But yeah, man, that was just a little tidbit of the great news, right? Because there is more, especially for folks who want to expand their families as well. Check it out.
An entire generation of Americans is about to learn in the most life-changing way possible how even small contributions can become generational wealth. And it's all thanks to President Trump. Trump accounts are the president's gift to the American people. They represent perhaps the most groundbreaking policy innovation of modern times, and they are shaped by a simple vision: every American a shareholder. When every American owns a share of the most powerful economy on earth, every American will benefit from our nation's growth. Every American will capture a portion of the productivity gains brought about by AI, robotics, and other world-changing technologies. And every American will be invested in the free market system and, most importantly, its continued success. Trump accounts are not a government program. They are a radically new platform that returns us to a social contract anchored in individual ownership, where everyone starts life on an investing journey. By giving each newborn citizen a material stake in the American dream through Trump accounts, President Trump is minting future investors on every rung of the economic ladder. He is embedding financial literacy and empowering today's youth to shape their own financial future. And he is creating an ownership economy to secure the American experiment for a new generation and the next 250 years.
I love it. I love it. A small token to all newborns, and honestly kind of incentivizing the next generation to make sure that America is great. Because when America is great, their investment will obviously bloom. It will obviously grow faster. So I love it. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But of course, you know, Democrats are going to try to poo-poo it. You know, we know how they do. We know how they do. Here's a clip from CNN as well. Check it out.
I mean, I was surprised. It was a better number than anyone was expecting. Look, inflation's been very high. It's stayed high. It has not been coming down. But, you know, people were expecting it to be above 3%. It was well below 3%. I mean, I think the president will take this as good news. The investors will think that interest rates will get cut more. So, you know, it was a positive news. There's no other way to spin it.
Absolutely.
So it was positive news. There's no other way to spin it. Kind of funny you say that. There's no other way to spin it, coming from CNN, you know? Goodness gracious. Jeez Louise. CNN. Uncle Trump also made another announcement. Check that one out.
Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, tonight I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call Warrior Dividend before Christmas, a Warrior Dividend. In honor of our nation's founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way,
sending a check of 1,776, if you didn't know, 1776. to all military men and women. Beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. I absolutely love it. Now, of course, Democrats are going to poo-poo on that one, too. Oh my goodness. I guarantee you their whole narrative is going to be, what's $1,700 going to do? I guarantee you that's going to be their talking point. Well, $1,700 isn't going to do anything. Okay. All right. Well, if $1,700 isn't going to do anything, all of those folks who are getting anything less than $1,700 for their food stamps and scamming the system, right? Getting government Section 8 housing and less than $1,700 is being paid, then why don't you take it from them? Yeah, exactly. I guarantee Democrats wouldn't want to do that. So that $1,700 does mean something to a lot of folks. So I just destroyed their narrative very, very quickly and very easily because, they love giving handouts to people who genuinely don't even need them or take advantage of the system. I mean, we've talked about that, right? Whole EBT scams and Section 8 scams and all the whole nine. They love giving money out, but then if Trump does it, what's $1,700 going to do? Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Mark my words, okay? Clip that one, all right? Clip that. There's probably already a Democrat that said it already. Knowing them, I mean, my goodness. Also, obviously, and I've talked about this in the past, gas prices. Gas prices have come down dramatically, and Trump is not releasing our strategic reserves in order to do it. Because if you guys remember, the Biden administration was trying to trick people into thinking gas prices were coming down, but they were just releasing oil from our strategic reserves in order to drive down the cost of gas artificially because of their terrible policies. It's the same thing that's happening to Gavin Newsom in California, where his policies are causing gas prices to skyrocket and potentially could skyrocket to $8 next year because refineries are shutting down. There's a refinery shutting down, I believe, this month or earlier this month, and then there's a refinery shutting down early next year, and possibly more on the way. And gas stations are shutting down, so yeah, Gavin Newsom's got quite the sticky situation on his hands. And speaking of Gavin Newsom, I want to show you guys this as well because this is kind of good. Check this one out. Now, granted, this is Emerson, all right? This is Emerson, but when you have liberal polls or not so great of polls already projecting or already putting J.D. Vance ahead of Gavin Newsom in any way, shape, or form, now granted, this is just a favorability poll, that's pretty good. That is pretty darn good, especially when you consider everything going on in the background, like mainstream media constantly telling people how terrible Republicans are, how trash the Trump administration is, and blah, 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 blah. And yet J.D. Vance still has a better favorability rating than Gavin Newsom. Amazing. He's got an uphill climb on his hands, and it's going to be a very, very steep one. I know he wants to run for president. Gavin Newsom is who I'm talking about. But the way that he's run California into the ground, I genuinely don't see it. I don't see him winning. And I said kind of good news because how could anybody favor this man in any type of way when you see what's happened to California? It's wild to me that people, well, he's a Democrat and he has nice hair and a great smile. So, and under him, you can't afford to live. Gas is the most expensive across this country. Homes are the most expensive across this country. I mean, everything is insanely expensive in California. Goodness gracious. You can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make this stuff up. But the great news is J.D. Vance will more than likely win and will win comfortably, okay, in my humble opinion. But as always, y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions about all of this. Like I said, as we get closer towards the midterms next year, I fully expect this economy to be absolutely roaring come the midterms next year. We're already seeing signs of things turning around and going in the right direction. Like the fuel prices, obviously. And I know fuel prices aren't everything, but they are involved in a whole lot of things because you need fuel to ship things to different places, to move things around. And so when that price is coming down, well, then that's another thing that's off the table. That's raising the cost of everything. So things are moving in the right direction. Things are most definitely moving in the right direction. And I love it. I absolutely love it. But like I said, let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.